Super cool to see everybody social distancing. Pockets everywhere, which is really cool. Good for you guys. That's awesome. My name's Josiah. I'm the best man. Christian and I have been friends for, I don't know, 7, 8 years. And throughout the day, I've rewritten this like 5 or 6 times, like in my head. I'm like, man, I should say that because things just keep coming up over and over again throughout the entire day. And so a little backstory about me and Christian. So we met at Southland City Church. I was a drummer. He was the guitar player. And every single time he would come play, I would think, this guy's awesome. And then he'd leave for college, and I'd feel heartbroken every single time. He'd come back, and we'd play again, and I would absolutely love it. And then he finally decided to stay. And that kind of started the great friendship that we have now. We would go to Mugshots, coffee shop in Bloomington and read books together and talk about life and hang out every Saturday morning. And that's really just kind of where we developed. A couple things that I love about Christian. First of all, he was my wingman when I was trying to get my wife, Cassie. So all of the great ideas I had while dating were actually his. And so I have to come clean about that now because he did it with Erica, and I worked the same moves probably because they came from Christian. So thank you for that. One other thing that I've learned about Christian over the years that I absolutely love is, I don't know how to put it lightly, but he's kind of like a modern old man. And this is why. I'll explain. There have been multiple times where on days he didn't have to get up early, he got up at like 5 a.m. and read news on his phone. And you're like, what millennial reads the news on his phone at 5 in the morning? He also knows what side of the plate the fork goes on. He knows how to make an amazing twin bed to the point where it doesn't look like anybody's even ever been on it. You walk in his room and you're like, do you sleep here or do you just look at it? And so that is something that Christian does. He also says gals instead of girls, which is really polite. So that is one of my favorite things about Christian, but the thing that's kind of been central to our relationship is humor. And I'm one of the only, there's a few people in Christian's life I feel like who really understand his humor. It's very subtle, it's very witty, it's a little twisted, it's a little edgy. If there's a line, he's going to try to cross it, and that's just kind of been something that we absolutely share in common. And so I'm going to do something a little different than what our relationship has been in the past. So I'm going to go a little bit more sentimental. So try not to visibly cringe at all. Normally we try to laugh, but I'm going to try to speak to something that I feel like is more important than a laughter. Because I could try to make everybody laugh. I could try to make you laugh tomorrow, but it's like once in a lifetime where I get to stand in front of your friends and family and speak to who you are as a man and speak to who you are going to be as a husband and as a father. And so the things that I think are going to suit you well in marriage, first of all, is your servant heart. I don't know a single person who serves harder and with more passion than Christian does. Whenever we have him over, he does our dishes for us. And he's like, I want to do it. And I'm like, go ahead. I hate that part of having people over, so you can gladly clean my dishes. He's the type of guy who volunteered for years and years and years about a full-time position at church. And we had to literally fight him to give him a job. It was like, Christian, take the job, be here, do what you got to do. And he's just like, no, I like doing it for free and on my own time. That's just who you are. And I believe that both of you have that servant's heart. And that is just going to serve both of you so well. And I know that, Christian, you're going to serve Erica for the rest of your life. I think that that's just one thing. The next thing is you're humble. You have so much humility. You are the first person to give credit to somebody else for something that you've done. And it reminds me of the scripture that Jesus says, when you exalt yourself, you'll be humbled. And when you humble yourself, you'll be exalted. And that's what I think of when I think of you. And so I know that he is going to be humble with your family. He's going to lead your family. I'm sure that you already know all of these things, but this is for everybody who doesn't know. And then finally, Christian, you are thoughtful. There have been times where I've said, hey, I need this, and 8 months later, I'll get it from my birthday from Christian, and it's like, I forgot that I needed that. Thank you. It's like, this is a guy who's constantly thinking about other people. And there's one time when he came to me for some dating advice or asking for date ideas when you guys first started dating. And halfway through, I was writing down notes about dates. Like, this guy's got some good material. Like, I got to figure out how to date my wife, and he's like killing it after a week of dating Erica. And so you are constantly thinking of other people, and I know that that is going to be something you carry on into your marriage. And guys, this is one of the most upstanding men I have ever seen in my entire life. And I feel like so often you fly under the radar because you don't want to bring attention to yourself. And so I feel like it's my job to do that. Most best men's speeches are to get a cheap laugh at the expense of the groom. And I want to do the opposite because I think Christian deserves so much more, and that he is one of the best men I have ever known. And Erica, you're going to make him so much better. Christian needs you. He does. There's a lot of things that he needs help with, and you're gonna help him with that. But it's gonna be both ways. And so I'm so proud of you guys. I'm excited to be part of this marriage, part of this relationship. And I believe every one of us is honored to be here today. And so thank you guys for being who you are, for being the example of Christ that you are, for being the man and the woman that you are. I'm excited to see what you are like as husband and wife, as father and mother, and beyond. So we love you guys. If you have a drink, I forgot mine, but if you have one, to Erica and Christian, we love you guys, and we're so honored to be here today.
Thank you, Josiah.